Hello, I'm Crystal LaFay and welcome to Magic Time. So today I'm going to be driving, and I was in an accident a while ago, and I've had a lot of challenges when it comes to driving and feeling safe in a vehicle. So what I like to do though is I like to make a driving magic sachet with stones and herbs and an incantation that helps put all the energy together, and I put this in my vehicle. So this is going to be part one of this this Magic Time vehicle protection spell, and then I'll do part two showing you where you should put it in your vehicle. So okay, so part one, what we're going to do is, what you're going to need is, you're going to need some type of sachet. It doesn't matter what color. I like green. You can do any color you want. So you're just going to need a little sachet, and it can be made of any material as well. So if you don't have a drawstring one like this, you can absolutely just make one out of some material. And then you're going to need some stones. I picked these 3 stones. So 3 stones is a good number to go with. And I've got amethyst, which is very good for protecting against negative energy and psychic attacks, and just overall good stone to have no matter what. And then I've got tourmaline, and I've got shugnite. So both these stones, tourmaline, shugnite, are very strong protective stones, especially shugnite. I love shugnite. It's one of my go-to stones. It's I have it on my phone. I have it around my computers. It helps protect against electromagnetic energies and just any type of negative energy that you don't need in your life. And so these are all really good protective stones. So these are the stones that I'm using, but you can use any stones that you feel drawn to for this. All right, so what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to place them into the sachet. Okay, so they're in there. And then I'm going to get into my herbs to put into the sachet as well. Now, just so you know, with this type of sachet, it is kind of the material, the herbs can come through the material basically. So if you're working with herbs that are a little bit more smaller and that can go through material, you might get some residue from it, but it doesn't really matter to me, because when I put it into the vehicle, it stays in one spot. So that's where it's going to stay. So if the herbs do kind of seek out, come out of the material, it's fine. Alright, so now if you're not familiar with magical herbs, or you want to know more about them, this book is a really good one. It's a Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. So I would definitely recommend that you get this book, because it really is amazing, the different things that it teaches you. Like this just opened to sage, and it gives you the folk names, it gives you the gender of the plant, it gives you the planet that is associated with the element, the powers, and the magical uses. So, and it's an A through Z book, so it's a really great book to have on hand. And plus, he gives some really good information in the beginning of the book too, for some everything to do with the herbs and how to use magical herbs. So this is a really good book. I teach a lot out of this book. And so if you don't know the magical properties of herbs, that's a great book to have. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use white sage. White sage is my go-to for everything. I keep it on stock. I have it in my shop for sale. We smudge every day. Oh, it smells so good. I just love it. It just makes me feel so good just to smell it. So what I use is, I just use a little bit of the white sage and put that into the sachet. Okay? So I put some white sage in there. Just a pinch is enough. And then I'm going to use some lavender. Lavender is good for longevity, so it makes this spell last longer. It's good for happiness and peace. It's good for calmness. So when you're in a vehicle and you're a little bit high-strung, this is good for that. This smells good too. I love lavender. So again, I'm just going to take a pinch. Now, people have asked me before, see, I'm just put that in here. What if you don't have lavender herb or sage herb Or can you use oils? Absolutely, use oils. You can. You can anoint the stones with the same process. So you just would wait to put your stones in until after you've anointed your stones with the oils that you're using. So, and you can mix and match too. You can do herbs and oil. Just get creative and use your imagination. It's really going to be based off of your personal needs, but regardless, you're putting energy into this as protection, as safety, as feeling calm in a vehicle. It's all going to go into this little sachet. So as long as you're putting those intentions into it, that's all that matters. All right, so the next thing I'm putting in is mugwort. This is good for strength. It's good for healing. It's good for just really good, strong psychic power. So it's good for helping your intuition. So as you're driving in a vehicle, you need some good intuition. So this is going to help with that. So I'm going to just place a little bit of mugwort in there. Now, again, these are the herbs that I'm using right now. I've made lots of these throughout my lifetime. For my different vehicles, for my husband's vehicles, my kids' vehicles. I make them all the time. You can use different herbs each time you do it. This is going to replace one that I've had in there for about 6 months, so I usually replace them every 6 months. But you can use different herbs. It doesn't have to be the same, different words. Just really go off of how you're feeling in that situation and what your intention is for that situation. You know, since the accident, I want to up my protection, so I need a little bit more. So I'm using a lot more herbs than I would normally. All right, so the next thing I'm going to use is I'm going to use Celtic sea salt. This is good for, again, high protection and blessings. So we definitely want that when we're driving. So again, remember this material, this salt is most likely going to go, it can go through this material. So I just sprinkle just a little bit on top there, trying not to shake it up too much so I don't lose too much of it. Okay, and then we're going to use, this is a blend that I put together. This is myrrh and frankincense, and oh, I love this blend. I love these two resins together. This is for divine connection. So these two herbs together, or two resins, work together. They're like they're hard like a rock, and so I put a little bit of each in there. These two are great for connecting to the divine, to connecting to spirit. So connecting to your spirit guides, connecting to your angels as you're driving. This is going to connect you to that energy. Okay, so you can put that in there. And then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use, the last one I'm doing is Palo Santo. Now you don't need to use a full stick like I am, but like I said, I need a lot of extra protection. So this is good for grounding. It's good for raising your vibration. It's good for connection to your source. It's good for creativity. It brings good fortune. It's good for overall nervous system. So this alone is really great. So I'm going to just throw this in there. Stuff it in there. All right. So the last and final thing, and you can absolutely do more. Like you can add little trinkets on the outside. You can put some pretty ribbon with it. You can go as big as you want with it and as pretty as you want. You can do whatever. You can put some glitter in there, whatever you want to do. Just have fun with it. But the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write an affirmation and the reason for this. And this one first I wrote, I drive with ease and safety. I drive with comfort and wisdom. So I'm going to put that, but on the back of it, I'm also going to add, I am always protected from any harm while driving. All right, so I put, I drive with ease and safety, I drive with comfort and wisdom, and then flip it over and I put, I am always protected from any harm while driving. And again, the words can be your own. You can use these words. It's really up to you, and it can be different each time you make one. So it's just going to depend on your intention. So then I'm going to take that and I'll put that right here, and I'm going to close it and tie it. So we want to infuse this with our energy, so we're going to put this in our hands like this, and we're going to place it up against our heart, and we're just going to breathe And think about the intention for this sachet. It's for the vehicle, it's for safety, it's to keep you calm, it's to know that you're always protected with the divine energy. And you can do this as long as you need to, as long as you feel drawn to. Keep this up against your heart space, infusing it with your energy. Make sure that you're putting in good, just good energy. You don't want to put any stress or worry into this. You don't have to worry or stress with this. This is good energy. This is protective energy. This is going to help you. This is going to help with driving. It's going to help like a magical force field around your vehicle. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that you should drive incorrectly. So make sure you're driving appropriately, following the rules, doing what you're supposed to do. That's not what this means. This is just going to give some added protection against like accidents or anything that can harm you on the outside or inside as you're driving. So it's just to help you keep you calm and keep you moving forward so you can get to places, so you can have independence, so you can have a little bit of freedom. That's what I need, is I want some independence and freedom. So I'm using this to get to the places I need to be and want to be safely and then back home. So, all right, and these are great gift ideas too. You can make these up for anybody in your friends and family and give them away to them as gifts. It's great gifts. Everybody in my family has one of these in their vehicle. All right. Okay, so we're just going to say it. I am safe. I am protected at all times in a vehicle, no matter what. Take a deep breath. Oh, that feels good. And then I give it to the universe to continue to protect me. Now, with that said, this is going to go in my vehicle because that's usually the vehicle I'm in. If you want to make a separate one and carry it with you, maybe a smaller one, and carry it with you if you drive in other people's vehicles, absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. Okay? So this is part one. Into part one, we're going to go to part two so I can show you what to do next, the final act, and happy driving.